All right. Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for being here today. Definitely appreciate it. And today's the third day of our On Track events going on this week. And so we will hear from Iowa Workforce Development around registered apprenticeships and workforce development in general. We originally did have our Iowa National Guard scheduled for today as well, but he had a family emergency come up last minute, so he's not able to make it today. So I will connect with him to make sure any information gets out to the folks that were registered today. But with that, we will just hear from our Iowa Workforce Development Agency for all of us. I will stick this link in the chat for the rest of the week as well if you're looking for some other sessions to attend for our Lunch and Learn webinars. And if you've got FSA IDs to create or folks that need to do that, they can join us in the morning for that as well. You can find all of the registration information through this link here. And then just for some housekeeping items, we are in a Zoom webinar today. So as an attendee, you can raise your hand if you'd like to verbally speak to us panelists here. So feel free to do that, and we'll be watching on our end to make sure we can press the button to allow you to do that. Otherwise, feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I will be sure to ask those to Bonnie and make sure we get those questions taken care of. And then I think with that, Bonnie, I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you.
Jamie, thank you so much. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Vonnie, and I am a business engagement specialist with Iowa Works. We are part of Iowa Workforce Development. And today I have the great pleasure of providing you with some information about Iowa Works and registered apprenticeships. So without ado, I'd like to give you sort of a virtual tour of Iowa Works. Oh, sorry. Here we go. This is Iowa Works office, and when you come to our office, you will always be greeted by welcoming staff. I do want to let you know that there's 15 other Iowa Works offices through the state of Iowa, and we have 4 satellite offices in various regions of the state of Iowa. When you first come into our office, you have the pleasure of being greeted by our one of our advisors, in which they will ask you information, just some basic information to see if you're currently registered in our system, because we want to make sure that we do acknowledge your presence for the day. And so we will ask you for some information so that we can put you in our system. The great thing is, if you decide that you wanted additional programs or services, we will probably ask you to create a little mini profile so that we can assist you with any other services, and then, making note of the things that were discussed with the career planner. The second thing that we usually do is we actually take you to our exploratory area. This is an area located in our office where we use computers to help you search for some of the job postings that we have online and apply for jobs. We also can assist you with working on resumes and cover letters. And of course, our staff is always eager to assist you for any of these tasks. We also have a career services area. Sometimes we have individuals that come in and are not quite sure or are ready to begin job searching on their own. Sometimes they need a little help. So our career planners can also be there to provide that help and to get you started. If you're entering a new career, there's different resources that we have to help you to start to investigate what are some of those career options. We have training programs through DMAC and other apprenticeships that we can also provide information about. And then we have referral and placement for more streamlined assistance and access to resources. We also, in most other offices throughout the state, will have a resume lab. Now, and the resume labs are at different times. The lab in Des Moines is from 9 a.m. on Tuesdays and 1 p.m. on Wednesdays, and we host this resume lab during this time. We always have staff ready to help you to create those resumes or even to update resumes that you wanted to add a little more information or just to tweak. So we always say, come by and see us if you ever need help with a resume. We also have mock interviews. And again, you can find this in any Iowa Works office. Once you have a good resume, the most important thing to do is to prepare for those interviews. And preparing for those interviews is an opportunity for you to test drive. How do you do in an interview? We provide an opportunity for you to have this real life scenarios so that you can brush up on your skills associated with interactions experienced during your interviews. The mock interview provides feedback on in all areas of improvements, and we actually provide that feedback the very same day and discuss the things that you can do to help to support you as you are brushing up on those areas that you need skill development. Recruitment and replacement. Placement. Once you know what a job that you want and you have a good resume and you have actually conducted a mock interview and got your feedback, the career planners can now refer you to the business services team, and they will work with you to identify employers who are seeking candidates like you. We also have core partners that are located in our Iowa Works offices. Career planners at Iowa Works can connect you with these core partners, and they might have other opportunities for you to jumpstart your career. Now, the other opportunities can sometimes involve additional resources in terms of funding, training opportunities. So if you are interested in speaking to one of our core partners, talk to a career planner if you need and help in figuring those things out. Because what you need to do or to learn about training programs can be found at Iowa Works and our core partners. We're here to serve you. Now, as I mentioned, the core partners in our offices, all core partners, including Iowa Works, we really want to know, what is your career interest? Now, in order to find out what your career interest is, we're going to need to have a little bit of an assessment to get there. So we suggest that you go and you do an ONET interest profiler. That can be done online. Sometimes there are hard copies that are also available using a short form. You complete this form by answering questions of the types of skills or interests that you have. And once you have identified those, there is something that they ask you to calculate the number of those areas in which you have an interest. And it pretty much tells you what is an area that you should consider. Now, as a result of that, that's where registered apprenticeship comes in, because sometimes those interest inventories can give you a clue of what type of registered apprenticeship is most of a fit for you. So with that being said, what is a registered apprenticeship? A registered apprenticeship is a real job where you learn, gain experience, and get paid. You're an employee, which means you're on the path to a rewarding career where you're learning and earning a paycheck from day one. With a registered apprenticeship, you can take your skills with you anywhere. So what that means is the Department of Labor is responsible for registered apprenticeships. And once you receive a registered apprenticeship and have met the requirement for that apprenticeship, no matter where you go, that apprenticeship still stands. That is a what we call a mobile certification that you can take anywhere that you travel. To learn more about registered apprenticeships, the next place that you should go to is www.earnandlearniowa.gov. This is a site where many of our apprenticeships live. You can go and look for a specific job or occupation that you have found as an interest inventory has stated that this was a maximum fit for you. You can go and take a look at Earn and Learn Iowa, and there may or may not be a registered apprenticeship already created in the state of Iowa for you. Now, why would I mention an apprenticeship? Well, an apprenticeship is something that gives you an opportunity, as mentioned earlier. You can receive pay from day one, and you're learning on the job. This map that I have here, this graphic shows, if you look at the red line, this is a person that is starting a registered apprenticeship. If you look at the blue line, you see this is a person that has started education. Now, if we take the blue line first, we'll see that as the student is learning their particular occupation or educational component. Once that education ends, they would then start the opportunity to experience the work related to that education. Now, if you look at the red line, you'll see that the apprentice will be learning and earning at the same time. Therefore, the red line and the blue line will never meet, which means that over time, the apprentice will earn more annual income or wages over time than the student in blue. Did you know registered apprenticeship programs offer access to hundreds of occupations in high growth and emerging industries? There's documentation to show that the average starting salary for an apprentice that completes an apprenticeship program is $77,000 a year. The employment retention of apprentices are at 93%. That is awesome. And you know, many times that's due to the relationship of the sponsor and the apprentice that makes that so special. Apprentices annually across the nation are over 800,000 apprentices currently are in the system now. There is a lifetime earning average for an apprentice of $300,000. This is once an apprentice graduates and they earn this over their lifetime compared to their peers who don't, such as these two students, the students that started in the blue line that I mentioned earlier. They will never meet, and over time, the apprentice will earn more income. Here's another example of why an apprenticeship. You have a registered apprenticeship versus someone that is has achieved a bachelor's degree. There's the 4-year degree is in blue, and the registered apprenticeship is for 4 years is in red. Now, the student in blue has things to cover such as tuition, books and supplies, room and board, and they receive no income. Now, it does state that their starting salary is roughly about $69,000 a year. And then there's loan interest of $8,000, $8,233. So after 5 years, the student will be paying $44,323. So this is what it looks like. The college grad will have less than $44,323, and another $29,767 will come from student loans, in which that will have to be paid. Now, when we compare the registered apprenticeship, after 5 years, the registered apprentice would earn $109,413 with no student loan debt. Now, that is a reason for an apprenticeship. Now, Future Ready Iowa, this is another area in which a student can learn more about registered apprenticeships, but also there's information here as a high school student. If you're interested in pursuing a registered apprenticeship, or even other options of going to college, there's things that you can currently start to do to prepare you for that opportunity. And at futurereadyiowa.gov, you have the opportunity to do that. Now that you have the ONET profile assessment, you've done your ONET assessment, and now you can use Future Ready Iowa to build that skill for you as you're choosing your occupation. So, and then for connecting with Iowa Works, again, my name is Vonnie Stewart-Kai. I'm a business engagement specialist. And there is my email and my phone number. Come visit us. We have over, as I said, 15 other Iowa Works offices across the state, and we have 4 satellite offices, including having an Ames career planning station now. So come visit us. And if there's any questions, I'm ready to answer.
Thanks, Bonnie. I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
I was just wondering if there's any age limits for like the career planning services.
Yes, there is. There's 18.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so along with that, because we're talking to, either parents of high school students or high school counselors.
Yes, and that's the
So-
reason Future Ready Iowa is geared more towards the high school students.
Yep.
The same information, yes.
So if a school is like looking to help their students that are going down a workforce post-secondary pathway, would they be able to do something like set up a time to like take a tour of their local workforce center, or
Absolutely. Yes,
Okay.
we encourage that. We love to visit with students because we often are involved with work-based learning opportunities. So yes, we encourage tours. Also, we will, and many of the other offices as well, will do activities that involve the youth with our partners, which is Title I. We collaborate with them a lot.
Awesome. Does each center have like, standard events that already go on?
Yes, they do. We all do. And, for some of the smaller offices, this may not be as often, but yes, we all have some activities that we're involved with our Title I partners, as well as our Title III, and doing activities for the youth. And also encouraging things such as quality pre-apprenticeships to happen in the school districts, and Future Ready Iowa helps students to navigate towards that.
Right. Awesome. So then my other question was also related to age limit. For an official registered apprenticeship, do they have to be graduated from high school, or can they start that during high school?
Sometimes they actually can start them during high school. In fact, there is currently a registered apprenticeship now for TPRA, where students can actually start working to become teachers. They become like teacher aides in their school district.
Interesting.
But not all districts have participated, but about 134 of the districts did find the value of having some of their students to teach in their school districts.
Yeah. Because we have some time left, would you mind walking us through the registered apprenticeship website, the Earn and Learn website? I'm sorry.
Sure, absolutely. Let's see if I can get through here.
Thanks, Bonnie. I know I just kind of sprung that on you.
Oh, that's okay. Let me make sure I can get. Can you see this?
Yep.
Okay. Here we go. So this is the Earn and Learn website. And if a student is interested in the apprentice they will just click apprentices. And it says, why become an apprentice? If you scroll down, here are the various industries already set up for searching. So let's say if I was interested in information technology. Oh, wait a minute. There's also all available opportunities. You can click on all occupations. That's easier. So here is a list of the current sponsors that have apprenticeships in our area. So if someone was interested in forestry or agriculture, let's do agriculture. And it looks like there is not a one for agriculture. But there is a chef for a cook in hotel and restaurants. Hold on just a second. I don't particularly like the all occupations because it kind of collapses it. Let's do information technology. Here we go. So let's say I was interested in a program called IT Information Technology Generalist, right? So it tells me that there is a organization called Step It Up America, which is on Bell Avenue in Ames. They have computer programmers, a cybersecurity support technician, and an IT generalist. So all I would have to do is reach out or send a resume or a call, Set It Up America, and let them know that I'm interested in that apprenticeship. These are the sponsors. This is the sponsor, Step It Up America. So let's say I was interested in medical coding. For medical coding, I would go to Practice Synergy, which is located in Des Moines at 500 East Court Avenue. And they currently have a registered apprenticeship for medical coding. If I was interested in laboratory work, I would hit lab and laboratory assistance is with Mid-American Energy in their maintenance department. And this also will give you a description on what the job will entail, which is really helpful as you are searching the Earn and Learn section so that you know whether or not you have the skill sets to be able to do it. And the Earn and Learn section is also connected with Future Ready Iowa. So when those, when a, I'm losing my chain of thought. Oh, when a, when the interest inventory has narrowed down the areas in which the student is best fit for, it will provide examples of jobs that could be considered based on the three skill sets. Would you like for me to show you how that works?
Sure.
Okay. All right. Oh, let's see.
Oh, Vani, we do have a question that
Oh,
came
we do.
through.
Okay.
Is there a way to see if these apprentices are around your town?
Yes.
Might be better for students to commute.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we could do that. Would you like, let me show you how to do that here. Go back. So we could see all sponsors and okay. So give me an idea of a city. What city?
I'm not
Or
sure.
a zip code. I could do okay, we could do Let's do 50266, this for example.
Okay.
And this will show me the apprenticeships that are in the 50266 area. There's a management professional, for heating, air conditioning. We have community healthcare worker, an electrician, and general insurance associate. So you can actually just put in a zip code, and then the sponsors are always to the left, and it will tell you who those sponsors are.
Awesome.
I could choose another, let's see.
If you do Winterset,
What is Winterset?
I don't know their zip code.
Hold on. I used to know it. Winterset. Let me see if I can.
That was from our audience member.
Winterset?
Yep.
Okay, hold on. Winterset School District.
Okay, 50273.
Okay. 50273. Here we go. We have a nurse assistant, teller, financial, welder, and combination, heating, air conditioning, installer, and plumber, electrician, heating and air conditioning installer. And those are all in Winterset. One was Winterset Community School District has the nurse assistant, the teller, welder, and minor plumbing and heating, Hirsch Electric, Concept Electric, and Bill Jensen Heating and Cooling. Any other questions?
Not that I see yet. And I do apologize, I missed a raised hand, so if I didn't get to you, please feel free to do that again and I can use the option to let you talk.
And I also want to go back to I want to go to Future Ready Iowa and show how to navigate through that. That is a fun program. It has a lot of different things, not only for the student, but also for maybe the parent that may want to change jobs or look at building another career. Let's see here. Okay, so here we are. Can you see that? Future Ready Iowa?
Yep.
Okay, so if you look in here, they have for the adult learner, high school student, employer, teachers and counselors. So for the high school students, there's 6 steps for the high school student to get started. And here are the steps. First is that career assessment that I mentioned earlier. Then they have a career coach website. And then step 3 is to talk to someone who can help you get started. Step 4 is to create a plan to pay for your education and training. Step 5, apply to your program. And step 6, begin your education journey. Now, step 4 is only for those that maybe make a decision that a registered apprenticeship is not an option for them. Then these are some things that they do suggest that a student starts to research in order to pay for the education and training. And the same inventory, interest inventory that's provided on onet.gov is the same one here as well under step 1. But it's all there together. Now, also there's that 6 steps for adult learners. Same thing. Same steps, except there's an added little thing where there's career opportunities that are added for the adult learner. And you could take an assessment for 6 questions or 60 questions. So, you know, both Future Ready Iowa, for a student that maybe is 16 is probably the first step I would suggest, only because it does have that assessment. And it does give you some clues, things that the student could start working on now to prepare them for the occupation that they find that they're interested in.
Oh, there's a tab for teachers and counselors up there.
It is.
Would you mind or
Yes.
not demoing, but
Yeah. And this one actually will go into information on the Last Dollar Scholar, Future Ready Iowa Facts, High Demand Job Lists, clearinghouse for work-based learning opportunities. And there's also some information on registered apprenticeship. There it is. Earn and Learn Iowa under registered apprenticeships.
okay.
So it's really self-contained on the Future Ready Iowa website. And for school districts, there's also information on when there's programs and initiatives that the state has. Like if you look at the very first, this page, it says child care grants, registered apprenticeship funding. So anytime there's additional information that the state has for funding or resources, you can find it on this banner here. They have summer youth program grants, child care task force grants. So these are things that are available to school districts, to community leaders in helping to find ways to support students and their parents.
That's awesome.
Now, it looks like we're still Future Ready Iowa. You know, that was that initiative that they wanted 70% of Iowans with to have education and training beyond high school by 2025. I think we're really on course for that. Now that, you know, registered apprenticeships is growing in the state. We now have TPRA registered apprenticeships where students can actually become teacher aides in the school districts. And now there's pre-quality apprenticeships. So there's a lot of things that are happening simultaneously that I feel that 70%, we will hit that mark easily by 2025.
Do you know if there's like a dashboard that's keeping track of that or anything?
A what?
Like a dashboard that tracks.
Yes, I think it's under the labor market information.
Okay.
Yes, I think you can find it under labor market. On their website, they keep the numbers of the apprenticeships and the sponsors.
Okay.
And the funding stream, the funding that's going through the state, I think a lot of that can be found through the labor market.
Awesome.
See, it talks about all the announcements. Here's one that you know sometimes changes from year to year, but this is the top job postings on iowaworks.gov. This is we have a major database, which is IowaWorks. That's the one I first talked about. When someone comes and visits our office, then we will ask them to create a profile. Well, on that, right now we have the top 15 that we see on a regular basis. I could tell you for certain registered nurses are number one. I'm surprised I don't see the CDL, because the CDL was a very high demand job there for a while. But I guess, you know, now that there has been some changes in the transportation industry, I think the CDL, they've gotten more people registered, involved, and actually have gotten their CDLs. It's probably the reason why that number is lower now. Any other questions?
Let me check here. None that have come through yet.
Okay.
And Vonnie, you answered all of the questions I had written down.
Oh, okay. I'm hoping this was helpful.
Yeah, definitely. Registered apprenticeships is a topic I think a lot of parents and school counselors are curious about, because they're newer post-secondary pathways, so.
Yes. Well, the thing is, you can't deny the numbers that I shared with you. I pulled those off of the Department of Labor website, that if you look at a student that is enrolled in a four-year college, and you compare that to 4 years for a registered apprenticeship, that's a no-brainer. The apprentice has no debt. They're earning about $109,000 in that first year, after they have received their apprenticeship. So it's just, it's amazing, the differences. And there's a true statement that after that first year, after apprentice has reached that journeyman level, they can make up to $77,000 a year, if not more. So it's just one of those things. It's an option for parents to really have those crucial conversations with their student. Is this something that are you ready to go to college now, or would you prefer to do a registered apprenticeship? Maybe even though they could be enrolled in their first year, and they can make a decision to go on. But it is employment. It is an employment with a contract that they would finish the registered apprenticeship. This is true. Many times when I have seen students having to make a decision, and after that first year, they want to complete it. They complete it, and then they make a decision to go on to college. And the sponsor that they worked with, that they received their registered apprenticeship from, actually assist them with tuition reimbursement for them to go on to college. And it's still free because they will get reimbursed the money that they pay. So it's a win-win.
Sorry, Bonnie, I have some other distractions.
No, I know. And yeah, I definitely wanted to share that, because I've seen that happen, on several occasions. That there's a growing number of registered barbershops, and some of the students that have actually, the apprentices that have finished the apprenticeship, they're now going on and registering to be instructors. So there you go. I mean, and the sponsors paying for their instruction fees, being an instructor. So that's another 1.5 years of education. So, I mean, it's really growing the community on registered apprenticeships.
Are there any specific high schools that have a good connection with apprenticeships, or have a lot of students that might participate in a apprenticeship?
Yes, there's a organization called Orbis in Ankeny. That's one.
Okay.
They're doing some great things. And then there is the academy out of Waukee. This academy out of Waukee. What is the name of that one? But Orbis is actually, there is a podcast from Mission Employable. I believe it is podcast number 125 with the Orbis, the superintendent of the Ankeny school, who talks about Orbis.
Okay.
ORBOIAS, I think. Waukee, it's a Waukee Academy, maybe. Another one is Pella, the Pella Academy Center. They have apprenticeships there, apprenticeships and quality pre-apprenticeships.
Okay.
Ankeny, and the one in Waukee, I can't remember the name. I'm sorry. I want to
No
give you the
worries.
exact name. Waukee. Let me do a quick Google search. Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, Sydney, I see you have your hand raised, so I'm gonna click the button to allow you to ask your question.
You said what? Oh,
Sydney had a question for us.
okay.
Is it Apex, the school that you were, the program you
Yes,
were talking about?
Apex. Yes. Thank you so much.
No,
That's
you're
it.
welcome. I was a part of it when I was at Waukee as a student, and it was a great thing going there.
Oh, yes, yes. They're still and they're still going strong. So yeah. Thank you for that.
Yep.
Oh, I could still I could still talk. I cut this down so much.
I know, I'm sorry, Bonnie. I
Yeah,
didn't want
that's
that
okay.
to happen today, so.
Um,
We don't have any questions, but if there's anything else, that's helpful for us to know, feel free to use that time to show us.
Let's see.
Okay.
Oh, we do have virtual we do virtual workshops. Now, this is something, it doesn't cost anything. It's free. It does require a registration. So you would either have to contact no, I think you can go online to do your registration. But it's really, really awesome workshops where it's like personal development. And, even I think the student could probably be able to do it. See if I have one. We have it for all the months. Now, this is for Des Moines. I would imagine that your local office would have virtual workshop appointments as well. And if you have students that are of age of 18 or so, I think they might want to use that as another resource as they're starting to explore their occupations. And so all you would have to do is contact your local Iowa Works office and ask about the virtual workshops. And I know there is a monthly job club that also takes place, and that's statewide. But you can find out if you can gain access from your local office from there.
I'm assuming,
Yes.
Bonnie, that most of well, I would think all of them have like a website to find through Iowa Workforce Development for
Yeah,
each of the locations.
they do. They do. If you
Okay.
go to www.iowaworkforcedevelopment.gov, the offices, the locations are all listed there, and you'll be able to click on it.
Okay, great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Awesome.
The other thing is, I don't know what school, I know you were there from different schools, but something that, we have worked with, I don't know if you guys have IJAG there. IJAG is also a good organization that helps to support kids making a decision on whether or not they're going to school or if they're going to do registered apprenticeships. So if there's IJAG in your school districts, really think about reaching out to their case managers and seeing if your student will be eligible for IJAG services. And the reason I brought them up is because they have a strong relationship with many of the employers in their general area. I know sometimes it can be difficult when they're trying to figure out the student schedule and getting them to it in front of employers for tours. But IJAG has this ability to bring employers into the school and actually have the employers participate. So it's a cool thing to see how their relationship is so strong with their local employers. And that's called IJAG, Iowa Jobs for American Graduates. Are you familiar with that at all, Jamie?
Yeah, yep.
Okay, yeah.
A few schools that have it in there.
Yeah, and so yeah, we
I'll have
just
to-
we try to, and collaborate with like our Title I folks, so that we can make sure that we are getting the youth in front of the employers, or the employers in front of the youth, because it's all about building that relationship, even if they're not of age yet. Building that relationship where when they get to that point, they'll say, yo, I remember when company X, Y, or Z came to my school. You know what I mean? That could be a good connector for that student, and maybe eventually an employee where they don't have to leave their communities. And that's what we're trying to share with the employers that we're working with, is trying to see how they can benefit the community, the students, and getting their names out there. So
Yeah, definitely.
yeah. And I tell you, registered apprenticeships has been a wonderful thing to do that. It's helping employers to fill those workforce gaps. I remember one time it just seems like employers were thinking that it was going to be costly, but it's really cost effective when you look at it in the long term, because the student will then become their employee after they're done. It's usually anywhere from 100% to 93 to 100% of higher rate after that apprentice have finished the apprenticeship, that they're going on for higher levels.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, and they have track records to prove that. Let's see.
I did put the IJAG link in the chat if anybody was curious about that program. I'm gonna skim the chat real quick to see if I missed any questions, but if you do have any, feel free to.
I see 7 questions, 7 chats, but I think that was me, you and I. All right.
Oh, maybe.
You see. Yeah, I think you answered those already. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
there's no Q&A either. So
yeah.
Bonnie, would you mind adding your contact information into the chat in case anybody wanted to reach out to you with any questions?
Sure. Okay. I had it also at the bottom of that. Uh-oh. Hold on.
Awesome. Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And then with no new questions coming in, I'm going to go ahead and close our session today if that works for everybody. Let's see. Bear with me just